Hey there, my name is AJ Pickett and I make videos about role-playing games, and lots of them. I upload twice a week with a live stream every weekend. You can find me on Subscribestar, Patreon and Discord, Facebook and Twitter. Also, there's an option to join the channel as a member, and I welcome any questions you have, including suggestions for future videos, in the comment section down below, which I'm notoriously good at answering. If you like this video or this channel, hit that like button and subscribe if you would be so kind. Back to the world of Athas for another weird creature from D&D history. This one is a psychic plant that meanders around the barren wastes and bustling wilderness oases, making life rather exciting for those who are not sufficiently suspicious of a cactus that they swear was not growing there yesterday. It's time to take a quick look at the dreaded Hunting Cactus of Dark Sun. On the world of Athas, it is dry and harsh the majority of places you go. Huge deserts dominate the land and civilization. Such as remains of it is concentrated in despotic city-states of one kind of evil or another. The setting is pretty grim, and so are many of the plants and animals of the world. An example of a relatively common and normal plant is the Rock Cactus, which looks like 1 foot diameter rocks, basically. Found anywhere water is not plentiful, which is a lot of places. Generally brown, but darker when they are older and full of more water, which some would call ripe. Their flesh inside their thick hide tastes a bit like apples. There is a pound of edible stuff inside, which is crisp and crunchy like an apple as well. Most travellers will harvest them and extract the juice for drinking though. Sounds nice, right? Yeah, well, they are often transplanted from the wild into city gardens in order to keep rodent populations down. Starting to get suspicious, because the things exude a perfume that is undetectable to elves, dwarves, gnomes and halflings, but rodents, humans and mammals, including orcs and other races, can certainly smell it, and it attracts small rodents like a charm. The preferred method of attack for a rock cactus is to wait until the prey is within a few feet, then it rapidly extends a few of its spines to impale the critter. They really rely on critical hits in order to take out their prey with a lucky jab, and they'll just keep extending and retracting the spines each round as long as they sense the prey is still there, so disturbing them and watching them flex and stab is entertaining as watching a Venus flytrap snap its leaf jaws shut on a fly. Rock cacti are a lot more dangerous though. A person getting jabbed in the foot and ankle can take 1 to 3 points of damage, 2 to 6 on a critical hit. Thankfully, the cacti release any prey larger than 4 times their actual size, not size category, and will drop to the ground after doing so. However, 1 in 500 of them is known as a blood-sucking rock cactus. See, these ones have spines that are hollow and they drain fluid from their prey. They all do, but these ones in particular. The bloodsucker will not detach and drains 1 hit point of blood per round from any creature that stimulates it and causes it to attack, swelling up to contain as much as 10 pints of blood. Another charming trait, if you have to force the rock cactus off you by cutting its spines off, make very sure to cut them out of you and get a cure disease spell cast on you just for good measure, as any tips of those spines left inside the body will slowly work their way inside until they reach a vital organ and cause a slow, agonizing death. In order to harvest the cacti, you just dance a sack full of straw in front of them until they jab those spines out, and then you chop the spines off, at which point the plants are defenseless and can be easily peeled. They rely on insects to pollinate these large yellow flowers that bloom only a few hours in favorable conditions. But that's not the plant we're talking about today. I'm just an example of another hunting cactus in the setting of Athas. We're talking about and taking a look at the psychic hunting cactus, who are not native to Athas at all, though nobody yet knows exactly what plane or world they came from originally. They are now found all over the planet. They are nomadic. They build no lairs, just camping out wherever they roam, so they're mobile, and they will seek out groups of cacti to hide amongst. Usually solitary, they may be found in pairs, but never large groups of them, thankfully. They are intelligent and psychic plant creatures that are equipped with an arsenal of deadly spines which are housed in 11 to 30 pods located along their trunk. Reading from the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Dark Sun Appendix for the Monstrous Compendium, specifically Monstrous Compendium Campaign Setting Appendix 2 for Dark Sun, titled Terrors Beyond Terror, which was published in 1995. It's actually a couple of years after the first Dark Sun appendix, which was volume 12 of the first run of the compendiums. Whew, there are so many monsters in these compendiums, you guys. It is going to take me decades to go through all of them. So, I will, but it's going to take me a while. So, reading from page 17. Hunting cacti are a pale green colour. They stand 3 feet high and have a number of oval-shaped pods attached to the main trunk. They have no sensory organs, they just rely on their psychic abilities to detect prey. The psychic powers are tricky in 5th edition though, so although we now have some sort of a system officially for psionics as of the publishing of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, it's just not generic enough yet to cover all sorts of psionic beings. So once again, treat the psionic talents of the Hunting Cactus as though they were innate spellcasting ability. They have the spell Detect Thoughts, Mind Sliver, which causes disorientation through inflicted pain, but the spell stats are the same, you can find that in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, and Cause Fear, which must have the cactus as the cause and the focus of the fear, which is more of an aversion that prevents the target from approaching closer than 20 feet or so to the cactus. There is a good resource for a 5th edition version of the campaign setting for Dark Sun. It's third party and free. I'll link down below in the video description. I found a nice listing for the Hunting Cactus venom in that document, and I will be talking about that at the end of this video. To continue, hunting cacti attack with multiple spines that they shoot from the pods on their body. I suggest 3 spine attacks per round split among any targets within range. The spines are +4 to hit, inflicting 1d4 piercing damage, have a range of 30 feet to a long range maximum of 100 feet, and the spines are loaded with toxins that require a DC 14 Constitution saving throw or paralyze the victim for 4 rounds unless they make an additional saving throw at the start of their turns. The spines are hollow, 3 inches long, and have a venom sac in the tip. Each spine that hits requires a saving throw. So multiple attacks can keep a character really busy, which is great for a normally solitary monster and their ability to handle a group of adventurers. In 4th edition we would call this a controller. Once the cactus detects a paralyzed victim, it then moves to within 5 feet of it, then inserts a feeding spine into the motionless victim and starts to drain 1d6 hit points each round, basically feeding on their blood. Feeding spine automatically hits a paralyzed creature, and the cactus continues to feed until it is attacked or until it drains 30 points from its victims. Any attacks that cause damage to the cactus will cause it to withdraw the feeding spine and face the new threat and launch a barrage of spines. Any hit from an edged weapon severs a feeding spine. New spines can be regrown at a rate of 1 per day. If it feels threatened, the cactus uses its fear-like spell power to send the attacker away, if possible. Hunting cacti generally kill 1 member of a party, herd or flock and leave the rest. Once they have a food source, they continue to battle only if any remaining creatures press the attack or try to steal their food. Hunting cacti prefer meat, but can survive on other plants indefinitely, although the cacti regard this as a form of cannibalism. They prefer consuming plants to starvation though, so they will, munch out on other cacti and stuff. Hunting cacti possess an intelligence. It's an alien intelligence, and although communication through psionics is possible, the cacti do not understand that animals are sentient beings. The cacti regard any communication as coming from a plant, refusing to accept that meat creatures could have any more intelligence than is required to eat, move, and reproduce. So it's quite an interesting flip. Hunting cacti have an intelligence of 15. Hunting cacti reproduce by pairs. First cacti detaches a new pod, then these pods are placed side by side on the ground. Each cactus places another pod, one of their own pods, in a series. And then these link up to form one larger pod, and within 1 day the new cacti will grow a trunk and new pods begin to grow, so they essentially bud and then combine the buds. Hunting cacti grow at a rate of 3 inches per month from their original height of a baby 6 inches, and their lifespan is currently unknown as none have been successfully kept in captivity or tracked successfully in the wild. Also, they may have a name for their own species, but they don't seem to have told it to anyone else yet. An interesting species, since they are not originally native to Athas, they could potentially be found anywhere in the prime material plane. While the hunting cacti are not useful for harvesting water, they are fairly toxic, and any animal that tries to eat any part of them, well, it's going to end up badly. They do have some useful stuff. The spines that they shoot make superb blowgun darts, and the nerve toxin stored in their tips remains viable for quite a while, so they can fetch a pretty good price depending on how fresh they are. Some will simply harvest the venom and make a poison out of it. Applied to weapons that cause injury, the poison acts as a fast-acting paralytic agent, disrupting the victim's central nervous system. The target must make the receiver of an injury from the weapon that the poison has leached into must make a DC 14 Constitution save or be poisoned for 1 minute. The poisoned creature is also paralyzed. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns to end the effect. Prices for this poison vary considerably, but because of that double whammy of being poisoned and paralyzed, it fetches a steep price. It's one of the most reliable and best paralytic venoms that you can get for your weapons. Please hit the like button if you made it this far, subscribe if you like what I do, check out my Subscribestar or Patreon links for the full scripts for these videos, buy some Teespring merchandise, wear your geek with pride, and as always, thanks for listening, and I'll be back with more for you very soon.